Okay, good morning. Good morning, Nilbert. Are you there? Oh, yeah.
Yes,
For a
I am
second, I
here.
didn't see you. Okay, good morning, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Nilbert, it's your time. The floor is
Okay.
yours.
Thank you, George. Good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Um, le- just as usual, let's start it off as people are still coming on and joining. Let's start it off by who has anything that they want to share with the group. Whether again, it could be anything. It could be anything exciting, new events that you have going on, or new enrollments, new members of the group, new achievements, new ranks. Anyone wants to share? Let's have like a couple of shares before we get right into the topic for today. All right, Kellyanne.
I'm excited. My launch went well. I'm going to have a second launch this coming month, or at the end of this month, rather.
Yes, yes, amazing. Yes, your launch was pretty good, very, very, very good. And yes, I'm glad you're having a second one because a lot of people, like new people that join in the business, when they say, okay, we're launching, they kind of sometimes have this idea that you can only do it one time. You can actually do have as many launches as you want, again and again and again to launch your business, right? Caroline.
Hi. So yeah, I just want to share again. I'm going to a trainer today. I'm going to call her. She's my shark, because I'm helping her with her. Um, she has 5 people she's training all at the same time, and I have to deliver these products for her because Adrian's coming on the 16th for a party, and so I'm bringing. She wants me to bring this flamingo contain pitcher with full of kinetic. So for me,
Uh-huh.
also what I've done is I have contractors, so I filled up one of these canisters and I use it instead of giving them water. They take this, and then about 5 of my contractors have said, I don't know what that stuff is, but it's amazing. So I have to share with you, Nilbert, from our other platform, we had CBD, right? This is a new CBD for us here.
Wow.
That's the feeling I got.
No, that's amazing. No, yeah, it's so easy to share. The other day I had an electrician come and do some work to install my a level two charger for my car, right? I have a plug-in hybrid. So it took him a few hours because they had to work on the breaker box and everything. And it was hot. And I said, hey, can I get you anything to drink? Said, yeah, something, water, anything cold would be good. So I have something better for you. So I already had it, mixed in a cold water bottle, like an 8 ounce, 12 ounce, I think, and gave it to him. And he said, "Yeah, this is an all natural drink. Try it, see if you like." And he loved it. He actually walked away with a few. I gave him like a couple of samples, like sticks. And he's most likely attending our San Diego event next week. So it's really an easy share, everyone. Kinetic is so awesome. All right, one more share. Let's take one more share before we start today's topic. Anybody? I know people are still joining from the other Zoom as well. Okay, well, all right, let's dive into it then. So today I figured I'm going to do it a little different. No slideshows today, but I promise what I'm going to do is towards the end, I'm going to drop a PDF, kind of like a summary of notes of what I'm going to share, so you have it, for those who are not able to like take notes or write something down. So we all know that our business is all about um, leadership, right? I I always mention it. I always on all my trainings, I always uh, refer to everyone here on the huddle as leaders because that's what we are. It doesn't matter where your journey is. It doesn't matter if you just started. It doesn't matter if you've been doing this for a while. Everyone here is already a leader. Number one, because they showed up, right? Because you showed up. That's number one, right? Leaders always show up. And as we grow our business, as we grow our organization, the more we have to cultivate this skill set of being a leader, because I'm just going to rely on some experiences I've had in the 22 years I served in the military, and working my way up from an enlisted sailor all the way to a naval officer. I can tell you that leadership comes in many, many different forms. And a lot of people have their own concept or their own ideas of leadership. That's why there's whenever like for example in the military, I've had so many different leaders. Some are really great leaders that who I will follow in any theater of combat. Like I won't even bat an eyelash following that leader into any kind of conflict. And yet there are some leaders, unfortunately, even in the military, that are not so great. Those who are pretty much just how basically I'd like to call it as just reveling in their position and their title, okay, and taking advantage of their title and just living off of the privileges, but not really contributing or serving who they're leading, because leading is really all about serving, right? Leadership isn't about being in front. Yes, we've heard the common saying, leaders should always, lead from the front, okay? There is a truth to that. Yes, but it isn't just about being in front. It's about how you serve, how you protect, and guide those who follow you. Okay? So, welcome everyone. So, for today we're talking about, the art of leadership. And again, when I say art of leadership, I'm not just referring to titles. I'm not just referring to positions or authority or ranks, right? Because yes, even in our industry, we have ranks, okay? But real leadership that earns, what we're going to talk about is real leadership that earns respect, loyalty, and results. And to illustrate this, I want to start with an image that has inspired leaders around the world. Some of you may have already seen it, but some of you may have, probably are not familiar with it yet. It has to do with my favorite animal of all, the wolf, right? The wolf pack. Okay. Have you ever seen how wolves travel in the wild, as they travel in a pack? They move in a single file line, organized in a very specific order. This is the beauty of nature, and how animals really, we can learn so much from them, right? So this is how they travel as a pack. The old and the weak are the ones that are leading the front. The older wolves, the weak wolves, injured wolves, they're the ones that are right in front. Right behind them are some of the strongest wolves there, in the pack. And then followed by the females and the young, right in the middle. And then behind them are more of the stronger wolves, like the young, pretty much in their prime. And finally, at the very back is the pack leader, the alpha. It's kind of, you would think like, why is that? Why would the leader be all the way in the back, right? Well, this is actually leadership at its finest. The alpha doesn't lead from the front. He's in the back. Why? Because he's watching the entire pack, protecting them and ensuring that no one is left behind. That's what the alpha is doing. Okay. So again, a little bit more of the concept of why they move like this, right? In nature, right? Leadership is about protection and service. The old wolves set the pace, so no one is left behind, right? Because they're slow, right? Because they're older or they're injured. So when they're slower, if they move slow, the whole pack slows down and make sure that no one, none of those wolves get left behind. The strong wolves that are right behind them are there to flank and guard, to respond to any threat that comes from the front. The young and the vulnerable are shielded in the middle because that's the future of the pack. And then behind the women, the females and the young, there's some more of the stronger wolves, so they can respond to any threat that comes from behind. And then again in the rear, making sure the entire pack stays together is the leader. All right. So leadership is not about saying, follow me, I'm the strongest. Because we know the alpha is the strongest. Every wolf in the pack is subservient to the alpha, right? It's not about saying, follow me, I'm the strongest. It's about asking, how can I ensure we all get there together? Isn't that so true of what we do in our industry, right? When we build an organization, we don't want to leave anyone behind, right? The success of your business is dependent upon each and every person in your team, every brand ambassador, every customer is actually growing, is actually succeeding with you, right? So this is a very powerful metaphor for us as leaders, whether in business, whether in our families or in life. True leadership is never self-serving. It's other serving, right? Servant leadership. That's why you've heard our leaders. You've heard our leaders, for those of you who have been to convention, uh, we've heard our leaders always mention about servant leadership. And we have amazing examples of servant leadership. Um, I could name Kim, I could name Samson, but let's just keep it here, right? This huddle right here is a combination of teams, from different leadership lines, so to speak. You got George and Adrian's team, you got Christine's team, right? But leaders like George and Adrian and Christine and so many others here are so willing to help other people who don't even belong in their team. That's what servant leadership is all about. Even if they don't get any financial benefit from helping people from other teams, they're more than willing to get on a coaching call, to get on a mentorship call, to do a presentation, right? That's what servant leadership is all about. I know there have been several times where I have, whether it's a prospect or a brand ambassador that I felt would really benefit from the kind of leadership, let's say either Christine or George and Adrian, um, the kind of leadership they have. So I schedule them for coaching calls with either George or Adrian or with Christine. Again, with my team falling under a different line, they don't get any financial benefit, but they're so willing to help. And that's so amazing. That's what makes our community so strong. From John Maxwell. I'm sure every one of you knows who John Maxwell is. I love this quote that he had. He who thinks he leads but has no followers is only taking a walk. Isn't that so true? He who thinks that he's leading, but he really doesn't have any followers, all he's doing is really taking a walk by himself, right? I know some of you are not able to take notes. Again, don't worry. I actually prepared a PDF file, like a synopsis or summary of like what I'm covering, and I'm going to drop it in the chat in a little bit. So leadership is not a title. It's not a rank. It's influence and service. When we think about our teams, ask yourself, are you leading from the front, always being seen, or are you sometimes stepping back, letting others shine and guiding them from behind? I'd like to highlight someone from my team who exemplifies this to like 100, like 200%. Lovey. I don't know if she's on. I'm not looking at the participant. Lovey has such a servant leadership type of heart where, she can step up any time. She can step up anytime to do presentations, to lead and all that. But at the same time, she never hesitates to step back and let others actually take the spotlight or lead. and then she's just guiding them from behind. That's how she's developing her leaders. Really, such an amazing leader. A great leader doesn't just create followers. A great leader creates more leaders. That's what we need to do, right? We're not just looking for followers. The only way we can grow our business to a legacy type of movement is to basically grow leaders. Help your people do what you do and duplicate, right? Notice in the wolf pack how the strongest wolves are not at the front. Their strength is used to guard and protect, not to dominate. So, same thing for us in business, right? Strength isn't about power moves or control. It's about holding steady when things get hard, shielding your team during tough times, and being the calm in the storm. Those are what a leader should be doing to protect their team, to keep their team motivated and to keep their team going, right? Leadership is not about being in charge, it's about taking care of those in your charge. That's from Simon Sinek. Again, one of my favorite speakers. Your strength should be felt most in the moments no one else sees. One of the greatest for me greatest examples of leadership I experienced in the military is one of my commanding officers who was in charge of the whole ship. He was always very quiet, very reserved. Like whenever he's there, he's present or whatever, the executive officer will be doing a lot of the talking. And even though he doesn't say a lot, you can see from how he leads, how he just observes that he knows, what's going on with his command. He has a good pulse of what's going on. He lets the executive officer shine and really lead, but we know, we have the confidence that he's there guiding everyone, right? So very subtle, but very effective. Okay, your strength should be felt most in the moments no one else sees. So just like wolves instinctively follow their alpha because they trust his judgment, your team will follow you if they trust your vision, right? You have to have the vision. So they'll trust you to follow in the direction that you're going. Great leaders constantly cast vision. We've had that training before, right? How to cast your vision and all that. This is where we're going. Here's why it matters. Here's how we will get there together, right? That's how people cast a vision and transfer the belief to their organization. So when people understand the vision and feel safe in your leadership, they'll run with you through anything. Does that make sense? When people understand your vision and they feel safe and they trust your leadership, they'll run with you through anything, right? You don't have to pull them. They'll be running with you. Being in the back of the pack comes with sacrifice, right? It means you eat last, you sleep last, you carry more weight than anyone else. But that's what the alpha leader is willing to do. That's what leadership is, right? So according to John Wooden, the price of leadership is self-interest. If you're going to be a leader, then you have to let go of self-interest. You have to take care of your organization, your people, your pack, and then everything else will follow, right? When your team sees you doing the hard things, showing up early to events, helping out at events, staying late to help clean up, taking responsibility when things go wrong, they don't just follow you, they respect you, right? They respect you. An example I want to use, we were going to go to an Orange County event like in Anaheim. and I was going to be one of the speakers over there, right? So I'm going to be driving from San Diego. I get a WhatsApp message from Samson, who was also going to be there because it's his team that's going to be pretty much doing the event. He messages me. I think I was the event is at 10, so I was leaving at around 6:30 to 7 just to give myself enough time to get there and be able to get there early enough to help out. And here's Samson, a six-star director, one of the top leaders we have in the company, right? He messages me right around 6:40-ish and all that and says, "Hey, Nilbert, have a safe drive. I'm on my way there too, so I can get there and help set up." This is our one of our six stars, right? Multi seven-figure earner going to get to the event early so he can help set up. Okay. So how to lead like a wolf? Since we're using the wolf pack as a metaphor for our leadership, right? Here are three practical ways to apply the wolf pack leadership model. Okay. Number one, protect your pack. When there's conflict, shield your team. When there's fear, be their calm voice. Okay. Number two, develop from the middle. What does that mean? Develop from the middle. Well, spend time where the young wolves are, the new recruits, the ones learning, mentor them. Because just like the young pups in the pack are the future of the pack, these new recruits, these new members, they're the future of your organization. You've always heard it's not necessarily who you know in our industry, but who the person they know might know, right? It could be 4 levels deep. It could be 5 levels deep. You never know, right? And number three, I know again, it's a little counterintuitive, right? But lead from behind. Don't always be in the spotlight. Empower your team to shine while you quietly support and guide. I love that part, right? I love that part. Okay, to close this out, I'm gonna share some powerful quotes, and of course, as usual with my trainings, there will always be a call to action, right? A leader is best when people barely know he exists. When his work is done, they will say, "We did it ourselves," from Lao Tzu. That is so powerful if you really dissect that one, right? A leader is best when people barely know he exists. When his work is done, they will say, "We did it ourselves." This shows you how this leader has developed his organization into an organization of leaders, all confident people who are successful, that that feel that, okay, hey, we did it. He's not just like pulling them or leading them. Okay, we're going to do this. Again, we're not going after followers. We want to develop leaders. All right. Here's another one. If your actions inspire others to dream more, to learn more, to do more, and to become more, then you are a leader. From John Quincy Adams. Okay. The wolf on the hill is not as hungry as the wolf climbing the hill. Very simple, yet very true. That's from Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? The wolf on the hill is not as hungry as the wolf climbing the hill. Okay, so what is our call to action this week? So this week, ask yourself, am I leading from the front to be seen or from the back to serve? Okay. Now, again, don't mistake this as you can't lead from the front. The main theme is basically, are you leading from the front to be seen, or right? There's a difference in the mindset there, right? There's this one phrase I saw, you know, don't climb a mountain to be seen, climb the mountain so you can see the world, right? There's a big difference. You're doing the same action, but it's a very different mindset. Focus on one person in your pack who needs your protection, encouragement, or guidance. We all have that one person, maybe two, maybe three person in our organization who could definitely benefit from encouragement and from more guidance, right? Lead with the heart of a servant and the strength of a wolf, right? So leadership isn't about how far you can go ahead of your pack. It's about how many you can bring with you to the top of the hill. That's what I'm going to leave you guys with, right? Leadership isn't about how far you can get ahead of your pack. It's about how many you can bring with you to the top of the hill. So that's what I have for you. Just a little treatise on the art of leadership. And again, we are all students here. We are all students here. I myself, I really try to absorb as many different types of whether it's podcast, reading, or anything like that, to really evolve and to really grow as a leader. I've had a lot of experience with it in the military, but I can tell you every scenario demands different kinds of leadership. We all have our leadership styles, but one thing I'm going to definitely share with you that I learned from experience, you can't apply the same leadership style with everyone. All right. Every person has their own personality. Every person is different. So you will have to adjust and tailor your leadership and how you can connect with that particular person. What may work for, let's say here, what may work for Craig may not necessarily work for Frida. That's just an example. Okay. All right. Well, that's what I have for you. I'm going to turn it back over to George and we'll open it up. Let's open it up to see if anyone has any thing they want to add or to share. In the meantime, I am going to drop the PDF file I have prepared so you guys can have basically a kind of like a summary of what we went through today. Okay.
Okay. Perfect, perfect. Like always, great presentation. And yeah, and leaders are also when you see behind when they are working behind, in the case of the wolf, etc. Again, they don't need notoriety. They want to make sure that the whole team, because it's a team, it's a pack, it's together, and that's so important. Anybody wants to add anything? I know some of you were making great comments. Go ahead, Caroline.
Yeah, real quick. Talking about Nilbert, when you said your mentor stays quiet, I have a mentor who's been a $1 million income or another platform. He got me into the first platform we were in. And like last night, I had an anxiety attack because I needed to be perfect. He said, "Don't be perfect. You don't worry about it. You're going to do it. You'd be fine." And this is network marketing, he said. So, and he's there when I need him. Call him at 11 o'clock. And I was like, had an anxiety attack, and he says, "Go for it. You got it." So yeah. And I'm trying to learn from George and Adrian too. So, and he was enrolled by George a long time ago. So anyway, that's my 2 cents.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Again, that part is very important as leaders, because things get tough. We know things get tough, right? We know things get really hard. It's like a cycle here. It's not a straight line. So there will be times when your organization, your team members, your brand ambassadors get discouraged, especially new brand ambassadors who you suddenly get a barrage of no's, right? That's where the leader steps in and is the calm in the storm and provides encouragement, provides motivation, right? So yes. um
Elizabeth, how are you?
Elizabeth,
Hi.
yes.
Yes. Norbert, I just want to thank you so much. And this is just great info and very affirming. And I just have to mention that my former platform, it's just so exciting to see this. And I really want to, thank you for this, but also just say that it says a lot about three. because in my former platform, and I'm not, comparing necessarily or saying it was bad, but one of the things I noticed is just the level of servant leadership. And it's not the rank that is above, it's the leadership, it's encouraging everyone. And so this is really good. I just want to say that. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Kenyon.
So as I mentioned a little bit, I had George for the weekend. It'll blow your mind, the knowledge of this man. And I had my team here at the house, and he did some trainings. And now my team is training me. If it's crazy how they're encouraging me. They go, "Did you make your contacts today? Did you do this today? I made my 30. Did you do your 30? Do you do this?" And I'm going, this is how a team should work. They should work together as a team. Even your downline should be encouraging you. You should be encouraging them. But when your team starts encouraging you and putting pressure on you to do better, it's amazing on what we can do as a team. And I just wanted to put that out there because there's different leaderships throughout the teams. But when your team starts understanding the concept, and when they get it, and then they start coaching you back, that's what makes this amazing.
That's right. That's right. And what I got from that also, Kenyon, is that a team that really truly works together, helps hold each other accountable, right? And pushes everyone to success. That's amazing.
Nilbert, it's Adrienne. I just want to say thank you so much for today. Absolutely loved it. Everything you do is always first class. I just want to say that before I just say how grateful we are for your leadership on a weekly basis and for you and your team. And you guys are so consistent and super steadfast, and it shows. One of my favorite quotes I wanted to add to this is from a man named Adam Grant, and he says, "Great leaders view their role as an act of service, not an avenue for authority and attention." And that's exactly what you hit on today. And it was so eloquent and so well put together. So I just wanted to say thank you again, and thank you for your leadership, Nilbert.
Oh, thank you, Adrian. I definitely appreciate that. Thank you. It's such a blessing and an honor to actually be able to share, with our community. So yes, it blesses me. I can tell you that. So,
Anybody else before we go? Okay. Well, like always, this is recorded in our YouTube channel. If you want to share also with your team, you want to watch it again, because always there's a lot of wisdom in any of this recording. And by the way, remember that YouTube channel is an incredible source. You can go to one of the older calls to be inspired, and there are other resources there too. But it's an amazing place it's a big library. I think right now we have probably like 60 or 80 videos already, probably more than that. But anyway, thank you very much, everybody. And thank you for being here this morning. And we'll see you later. Thank you. Have an amazing day, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.